Hello and welcome to our webinar, Learn How Parameters and Colors Can Work Together. Before we really get started, I will briefly introduce Jan and me. Jan Stotfang is our CEO and visionary in the field of MBD and today's moderator. I'm Sascha Möller and I have been a software developer at B&W Software since 2018. Before that, I worked as an injection molding designer, and today I'm the organizer of this webinar. Still to the process, just in case you want to see a sequence again, our webinar will be recorded and published on our YouTube channel later. In this webinar, Jan will show you a presentation part and a live demonstration directly in Creo. You have the possibility to ask questions via the webinar software. During our Q&A session, Jan will answer the questions live. If we have not enough time to answer all your questions, we will contact you later. So let us start. What did you prepare for us, Jan?
Okay, thanks, Sascha, for the introduction. And welcome, or even welcome back, for those who have been to the webinar an hour ago. Yeah, welcome from Germany. And it's a kind of rainy afternoon here, not very pleasant outside, but hopefully you'll enjoy the webinar presentation that will take about 30-35 minutes from now. Well, the agenda shows a little bit of a motivation why we are talking about parameters and colors, and we'll look at this by a model-based definition, plastic part process chain. After the motivation, I will show a little bit of characteristics of parameters in Creo itself. Talk you through the surface parameter application through color coding, and show later how you can even decode the surface parameters to appearance states. Later, we'll have a quick outlook, and as Sascha already told you, we'll finishing the session with a Q&A session. Okay. Let's dive into the topics directly. So let's have a look at a classic plastic part process chain. So in the first place, you have usually an R&D department where designers do the design of the real plastic part or the article part. With that, usually they're creating the drawing. Article part, article drawing. The content besides the geometry is surface finish information, parting line information, tolerances, visible surface, and many more information that finally needs to flow into downstream departments. Well, in a plastic part process, next department will be tool design. They are receiving the parts and the drawings from R&D and building a reference part. Usually, there is a method like a copy geom feature, a merge feature, or an inheritance feature that copies the original article part. In this part, the tool designer enters the shrinkage factor and the parting surfaces, extracts the parting surfaces, and so on. Within this department, within tool design, the tool designer creates a manufacturing assembly, builds splits, and finally gets extracts and again drawings. The extracts will contain waterline holes, threaded holes, cutouts, again tolerances, surface finish information, and many more information again. And this information needs to flow again into another department. In my example here, it's the electrode design department that is creating electrode assemblies and resulting electrodes. Again, they're using usually a copy geom, a merger and inheritance feature to copy the information from the former department. Finally, they're adding again information to these parts, burning phases and so on, to finalize their electrodes. In addition, from tool design, this information can flow directly in your manufacturing processes as well. So in our envisioned plastic part process, there is no drawing anymore, and this drawing goes away. But you have to replace the container of this information, and usually people try to fit everything in the 3D part. But the part needs to transfer this information through all these process steps into the final departments. And we are trying to use color codes to do so. So let's have a quick look. I'm very curious if somebody of you already uses colors in your company to transfer information, and we're doing a little short questionnaire.
Yes, we have a summary of this questionnaire. 9% say yes and 64% no, and yes. So not so many people use colors at the moment for downstream process information transferring. Okay,
thanks for answering our quick questionnaire, and thanks for the results. So let's have a look in the color coding vision. So our vision is that the colors will flow seamlessly through the whole process chain into downstream functions. But unfortunately, there are a few technical obstacles in transferring these colors in Creo. First, there is update regeneration of appearance states depend from the active state in the original part and the target part. So there can be a very quick mismatch. And it's impossible to transfer multiple appearance states at a single time. Additionally, regeneration of assembly containing multiple dependent appearance states is currently impossible as well. So let's have a look how this looks like in Creo right now. So here you see my Creo screen. I open up the first part, the article part. Within the article, we had already created 3 combined states. Combined state revision, showing our demo part in green. Surface finish part, having a few nice legends already. And visible surfaces. So that's what usually a plastic part designer needs to communicate to tool design. Well, let's open up our reference model. Open the reference model. So this reference model, let's turn off all this here to let's have a look a little better. So also has these combined states, but they're unfortunately uncolored right now. So what can happen right now is if you just use this external merge that transfer all the geometric information, redefine it, say, okay, just for regeneration purpose, the color state directly goes into the wrong state. So you have this and you have this in different states. So this is a very, very difficult situation because there is no reliable process to transfer the information to the correct combined state in this model. So let's go back to the presentation for a while and take a step back. What's the basic consideration that we have? What is the main task of the merge, the copy geom, or the inheritance feature within this process chain while transferring information from the article part in the R&D department to the reference part in the tool design department? Well, the main task is transferring geometry and surfaces. But can these surfaces also transfer information? Yes, they can transfer colors. So we have seen that this is possible, but we also have seen that it's very error prone to do so. And there's another thing that we can transfer like this. These are surface parameters. And this is what we want to have a look into a little bit deeper. Let's go back to my Creo and open up another part. In this case, article without any surface parameters. So nothing prepared, very clear. And I don't know if you have already created a surface parameter already. So this is the regular parameter dialog. You know, you can choose surface from the drop-down menu here. You have to select the surface from your part. I do this with the main surface here. You have to name the surface. I don't know if there's any real reason for doing this, but I think it's background reasons for identifying the surface later. And when I have done so, you can create a new surface parameter. So let's give this a nice name, test parameter. Test parameter, say it's from type string, and give it a value hello world, for example. So, well, added, but there's no visual indication that there is a surface parameter in it. With basic Creo functionality, you have to go in again, select the surface, choose surface parameter, select in here, select the surface, and you will see the value, or you have to get this information out here. So kind of difficult to get this information here. So the color coding software that we created, the Smart Color, has a really nice function to get this information a lot more quickly. So if you use the color info here, you'll see test parameter hello world directly without selecting any more items. So that's for the surface parameter. So if you now want to, let's go back to the presentation once very quickly. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit in more detail about the parameters, about characteristics and comparison to colors. Well, a textual parameter value is a lot more precise for human readability than a color, because it's very difficult for a human to distinguish colors more than, let's say, 20 of them. So, but you can have hundreds of parameters and parameter values that you can distinguish easily. But parameter values are language dependent and usually not translated. So that's a hurdle that you have with the readability. And as you have seen already, they're visually hidden, and it's a lot more difficult to extract this information. Well, about the definition of parameters, you can add a lot of parameters to a single surface. You can only apply a single color to a surface, or you have to build multiple appearance states. So this is a real advantage because this allows to add and evaluate multiple surface properties at the same time. But unfortunately, you'll not be able in Creo to define a surface parameter for a whole set of surfaces. So you have to pick every surface, create a parameter, name it, give it the value, and so on. So that's very uncomfortable for multiple surfaces. Another advantage is that these surface parameters easily transfer through merge, inheritance, or copy geom features. This is a very big advantage against colors. Unfortunately, they don't transfer into a step export or even cannot be published to Creo view. About the evaluation, it's via a set of rules. You can evaluate multiple properties at the same time. For example, you can show all the surfaces with the surface finish of VDA 24 or all visible surfaces. What's the approach in smart color? So what we found, well, when we started with color coding, there are a lot of limits, and we are trying to get rid of a few of these limits using parameters and colors in combination. And this is what I want to show you in the next live demo. So going back to my part here. So we can probably just have another look at this part here. And I just want to show what color coding can do with the surface parameters. So I do have my color information here, and go for the revision. Let's go for color revision. And edit this one just for reference. Go for the metadata and have a look at this revision, and it adds a value of revision 1, the green color. Cancel out here. And for this purpose, I can use a manual selection, go in a revision. I can just show, pick in here, apply this manually. Okay. Close this dialog and go to color info and have a look. And you see the surface now contains 2 parameters. The test parameter I created a minute ago, and now this smart color revision parameter with its value revision 1. So you see a surface can contain multiple parameters, and the second one was created automatically using the color coding. So let's leave this part and close this down for a moment and go into a more sophisticated situation and open up the mold assembly from the mold designer. First of all, I will regenerate this here. Okay, so I do have to open up the article reference part first. So we see the article reference part in here. Open up this here. So we have seen this already, and we have seen that these combined states are not completely colored. But what happened already is that the parameters have been applied. So let's have a look. So there are a lot of parameters added to this surface already. And the beauty of the Smart Color software now is that you can recolor these combined states reliably. So I just will do this here. Let's do the application of the color. Visible, okay, we've done it. Already close this. No, I don't have to close. I can just switch here, apply the colors here to the revision, and I can even go to the next one and apply all my colors here. So I've done it for all these spreads. I'm creating my symbols now. Would recreate all the symbols and rebuild the states from the original article without transferring the data. So they have been rebuilt, so there was no transfer. So close this. And now we can switch back to our mold manufacturing assembly, regenerating everything in here. So you see there's a lot of features in there, a lot of parts, sub-assemblies. And what I do want to make sure right now is that these parameters transfer into the next step. And if you remember back, there is no choice to transfer a parameter through the splitting in a mold assembly. So what to do next? So my colleagues did a fantastic job in creating a new function in the EMX software, transferring surface parameters. It now has calculated everything within in the assembly, and I have to start the transfer process with pressing OK. So this takes a little while because there are many surfaces in this assembly, and well, Creo has to look at every single surface now and transfer the parameters from the mold, from the reference part into the extract parts. Imagine you would have to do this by hand. So this would be weeks that you would sit there transferring parameters. So I think you can just lay back and let the software do it for you reliably. And so finally, everything has been transferred. We can open up one of these parts in here, opening this part, going into the revisions, and can just have a look if the parameters have been transferred. So let's go to Smart Color, use this nice function, and go in here. But there is no color in here. Oh, I missed to regenerate. Oh, okay. Just go back. Regenerate again. Regenerate. This should finalize the transfer. So open up this part once again. And go for a Smart Color and use the information. And you see here, color and all three parameters have been transferred. Well, it still does not look right now, but I don't really want to do everything manually to correct this here. So I created, oh, no, I didn't create, so Sasha did create this little function and use Smart Update to apply all the colors to the three combined states. So Smart Update is able to use Smart Color for color coding things. Let's select everything and let again the software do the job. Again, this takes a little while, but I think a few seconds are okay, better than doing it manually. All my symbols have been graded, all my combined states have been updated, so I'm fine with my part here. And for this, I'm switching back to my presentation for another time. And just want to kind of summarize the advantages of the combination of parameters and colors. The consistency is, I think, the biggest advantage, because it's you can realize a seamless flow of information throughout the complete process chain. So in case colors don't transfer through any kind of gate, like a merge feature or a split or whatever, in most cases, parameters do flow through this gate. And you later can use the parameter to set the colors, or vice versa. If parameters don't get through, like a step export and import, then you can use the color to set the parameters. Adding colors and parameters in a single process. So you don't have to do it manually, so you can use the smart color software to add colors and parameters in a single process and automate. The transfer is reliable to downstream information on processes. So that's, I think, another really big advantage if you have this as a combination. And you can even structure the information in multiple combined states, because the software can deal with these combined states to transfer the information. Well, there is a few obstacles in this area, because finally a step can only transfer a single combined state. But if you're using your workflow within the Creo world, you can make use of the combined states very extensively. And this brings me to a little bit of an outlook that we're working on and trying on. And this brings me once again into my Creo application. And for this, I want to go back and just close this part here down, go back to my mold assembly, and use the Smart Update software once again to try to automate the whole process over the complete mold assembly. So I'm loading all the subcomponents. So I'm making this dialog hopefully a little bit smaller. So first of all, Smart Update is reading the complete mold assembly and loading the components. So let's make this a little bit smaller. So I think this looks a little bit better to you. So all the components that have been an indicator that should be checked by Smart Update are listed right now. And I'm just for my convenience, I'm selecting everything to be updated with the color coding. So creating combined states, applying the appearance states, color coding the parts. So there's a lot of tasks that Smart Update now automatically does. Opening up a part, doing the combined states, applying the colors, applying the symbols, switching the combined state, doing the job again and again and again. So this will take, again, a little while to go through the complete mold assembly. But finally, this is a method to make sure that if you're delivering a mold assembly to manufacturing, everything is looked at, reliably colored, and the symbols are in place, and so on. So I don't know how many parts are in here, but let's have a look at how the software operates. Yeah, and this is the beauty of being the boss of the software, having the slowest computer. So let's just let Smart Update do the job here and creating every component in here. In the meantime, you can think of if you might have any questions, because that will be the next step. And please use the panel, the questionnaire panel in the webinar software if you have any questions on that. Yeah, so besides trying to automate any more things here, we are working on a few different things, making it even more convenient for things we couldn't color code right now. So if you're trimming ejector pins on a kilt, this will not be possible right now. So that's what the colleagues are programming at the moment. So this will be in there in the near future. Or what you cannot really do right now is if you're in an assembly, you cannot switch the combined states or the appearance states from the parts. So that's a big deal, and we are trying to get a solution for that, but this is not ready implemented right now. Smart Update.
Jan, we have one question I can ask now. It's a good time, I think. So one question is, which version of Smart Update supports Smart Color Update? So I will answer it by myself. So at the moment, it's only implementing and not supports in a version what is available at the moment. So it's all stuff that we are implementing at the moment, really new stuff. So have a few moments and we will get you a new version. Yes.
Okay, thanks. So meanwhile, Smart Update finalized the job. And yes, the version, well, I'm running Smart Update 9, but it's a development version, and it'll be available in the near future to everybody. So we have just to do a little bit of the quality checking that everything works fantastically. So let's close this Smart Update dialog and just go into any of the parts in here. Let's just mold whatever is this, or is there, how do you call it, core? I don't know what this is, but I just want to have a look. A part, the default state is here. Revision has only touched this with revision 1. Imported visible surfaces. Again, this is touched here, and the manufacturing does have this as well. Okay, so I think I'm switching back to the presentation. Okay, that's what's not the presentation. That's the presentation here. And before I answer the questions that came in, a quick look at our webinar table. So we're only a single webinar away from finalizing our complete week's table. That's coming up in 25 minutes, and it's showing a little bit more about the process chain from our tool designer into the final electrodes. Yeah, and this brings me into the questionnaire side. And well, Sasha, do you have more questions for me?
Yes, a lot of questions here. So the next question is it possible to automatically apply smart color rules with Smart Update when checking in parts or assemblies into Windchill?
Okay, so this is difficult to So I have not thought about this so far. Well, Smart Update has a windshield gatekeeping mechanism, so this should be possible. And with this development version of Smart Update, I can envision that you can color code parts dependent on this situation. So yeah, but I think we'll get back to you to this question in detail after the webinar session.
Okay, thank you. And the next question, when you are referring to step, you are not referring to step AP252 as you were maintaining parameters are not transferred with step?
Okay, so when I referred to step, it's the protocol 242. And well, parameters itself transfer through step nicely, even in lower protocols, but surface parameters do not. So that's what we tested, and there's nothing we could make it happen so far. Perhaps there is a configuration that we didn't see so far that I don't know. So this is what our test results have been for surface parameters. That's not the case for model parameters. So they transfer nicely.
We have an answer of this question from the question man, as they do in Creo 7. So, okay.
Okay.
He answered his own question. Very nice.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah. This is the best for us. And the next question, hello, what kind of computer does Jan have? So.
Okay, my computer is a laptop, a ThinkPad, Lenovo. I don't know the number, but it's an office laptop. It's not a high-end CAD workstation. So usually I'm not working on large assemblies, and so I don't have a nice graphics card, and I don't have a real great processor in my laptop. So, but yes, it works for me.
Okay, and the last question, I think it's enough. Then, are surface parameters also transferred for pattern features?
Yes, sure. They are transferred for within patterns. So we have tested this already, and I don't have to show this, but they're transferred nicely through patterns.
Okay, so I close the Q&A session now, and thank you a lot for your presentation, Jan.
Yes, thanks, Sasha. And well, to close up the session, thanks for your attention. And if you want to have a little bit more on B&W, our next events, information, software news, subscribe to our newsletters from the website. You also may subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we upload all the webinar videos and even product videos. Well, having further questions or want to request a demo license, well, just ask me, Sasha, or even Fabian as the product manager of Smart Color. For if you want to test things individual at your machine and your company with your settings and ideas. Yeah, that's I think closing our session today. Well, a few minutes early. I think that's nice for everybody. So have a nice day today, and yeah, stay safe. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you too. Goodbye.